It's time for the Other Three Amigos Podcast.
Find us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.
Hello and welcome to the first of the 2026 weekly pods. We have a new team member and it doesn't take him long to get stuck in. The MFA, Munster Flying Association, or is it the Munster Fishing Alliance? The Owners No Show and much more all contribute to an hour-long commie watch. But fear not, from that point on, it's positivity only. Lots got cut, I'm sure of it, but I can't talk about it now. The mailbag is open and there are a couple of exclusives hidden in the mess that is Toe Tap, episode 326. Rejoice! Hello and welcome to season 6. It's still mad when we say that. Episode 2, episode 326 in total of the award-winning podcast. Back. Maybe some people didn't hear episode 1, which was an interview with Guy Branson, but we are back on a regular basis now, looking forward to the 2026 First Division season. Look, we are an award-winning podcast. We are on Patreon. I'm going to change all this for this. So can't do this for another fucking year, lads. You know, it's a $5 on Patreon. Retweets are very important, but most importantly, NordVPN, our sponsors, are back again with us for another season. The question I have now, Deck, at this stage is there anybody out there who has yet to sign up for NordVPN? Because at this stage, surely they're just flushing their money down the toilet bowl.
I'd say there's still a few, Deck, to be honest. Like I'm looking at our Spotify Wrapped for last year. The listenership has grown year on year on year on year. I have no idea what that could possibly be attributed to. Maybe as a new member of Toe Tap that joined last February, who knows? But I was just chatting to our newest Toe Tapper before the podcast started, and he was telling me how he was in desperate need of a VPN. And
I
was
an
filling him
eSIM
in.
card for abroad, if that's at all possible, lads. In a couple of weeks, if you could sort out an eSIM for me, that would be great. Maybe something associated with Nord. I know they do eSIMs, so maybe.
We'll see. Who knows what the future holds, Scotty? Who knows what the future holds? As you heard there, Declan Carey is back with us. Scotty is back with us. Unfortunately, Dan can't be here tonight, but he will be back, as always. And we are delighted. We did announce it on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, wherever else you guys have us on. But we are delighted to have a new Toe Tapper with us this year. Is that correct? Are we Toe Tappers? We're not Toe Tappers, are we? What are we?
No, we're proper journalists now, aren't we, this year?
Yeah.
It depends. Your level of journalism is going to be defined by what name you call the stadium every time you speak about it. But we'll deal with that later on, you know. But, like, you know, they put out a call for journalists and broadcasters to use the proper name. Dan MacDonald has already said on Twitter that nobody's going to call it that, like, you know. So if we do, that makes us proper journalists and proper broadcasters. So, you know, one up to us early on. Okay, no response from anybody. I'll just move on.
I was just like this morning, earlier on today, I went to the Munster FA McDonald's, and it was nice. I had a Munster FA Big Mac and a Munster FA fries and a Munster FA milkshake. It was really nice.
Like, this is going to just become the thing, now, and anything in Turner's Cross, that area, the city, is just going to become, you know, the Munster Football Association's Turner's Cross Tavern, Munster Football Association.
Don't forget MunsterFA.ie for all your Toe Tap merch.
Yeah, if you want to research the Munster Football Association, they are at munsterfootball.ie. Munster FA will get us, but that's another story.
Munster. What's that called? What's that? That's not
Munster Fishing Alliance, I think, is it?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Or Frequently Arseways is another one that might be, you know, Munster Frequently Arseways.
We've multiple sponsors coming in, as you know, next few weeks. Like, we've got eSIMs, we're going to have NordVPN, we've got fishing associations. I'm sure the Flying Alliance as well are interested.
Yeah,
up in the airport.
Yeah, the biggest anglers in the province coming on board. It's fantastic. But anyway, are you going to introduce the new guy?
Because we do a lot of fishing. Yeah, I was just thinking, poor Dominic sitting there just thinking already, what the fuck nonsense have I got myself involved with here? But Dominic Heffernan, okay, do the Dutch name for us once, and we'll leave it at that.
It's not Dutch.
It's not Dutch. Jesus Christ.
Did you miss that part?
It looks Dutch. Okay, German, Dutch.
I
It's
don't
all
know
the
what it
same.
is.
It's fucking us in the UK. America,
Jesus.
Canada stuff, like, isn't it? No? Okay.
Well, one won a war, one lost a war. So I don't know. Like, is it the same? Really? Like,
Oh, man. Not the war stuff already.
My legacy is tarnished. It's gone. Dominic, how are you, sir?
What's the crack, me guys? How are you getting on? Thanks very much for having me.
Dominic, welcome. That's for those of you who don't know Dominic. He's City through and through, home and away. Dominic, home and away, every game, every season. It's
this is why we got him on, so we don't
Yeah.
have to go to games, and no one can accuse us of not going to games because Dominic's going to every game. So we can just sit back, drink our vodka, and have the fun.
Yeah, about that. I'm actually going to miss the first game of the season.
it's
But
quite a
other than
commitment,
that,
Dom.
other than that, no, I'll be there. I never miss a home game. Rarely miss an away game. It's it's one of those sad addictions that we have, really. But I suppose that's what we live for.
It is what we live for. It's what this podcast lives for. As I said, Dan can't be here tonight. We'll hear more from Dominic as the weeks go on. Obviously, we'll hear more from him tonight. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we do go on. You may have seen on Twitter, Las Damas is getting its own platform. So there's going to be
What happened there?
It's just time to give it its own platform.
Oh, right.
Its own Spotify platform, its own Spotify channel, which I presume, I don't know how this stuff works, Dick, but I presume then it has its own channel on the other podcast outlets as well.
Yeah. You'll find it separately now on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So it's still under the like Toe Tap Towers and all that, but we just decided to do a bit of cleanup and split out like this.
We're all still friends, no matter what you hear. We're all still friends.
Alleged. Yeah.
It's like obviously everybody is still buddies. It's gone. So search for Toe Tap Las Damas. It's still under the Toe Tap umbrella, obviously, and you don't know what will happen. There could be this time next year. There could be 4 other Toe Tap podcasts. We just don't know what's going to happen. You know,
it could be bought out, Dick. There could be
it could be bought out. Yeah, you know,
there could be a vote, and need simple majority.
If you're listening, everyone has a price, buddy. You know.
Yeah, you know. So who knows what's going to happen? But look, do have a search for Toe Tap Las Damas on whatever platform you use. Please follow it, rate it, etc. There will be tweets. It's another month away yet, so there will be more tweets about that. Basically, this episode is probably just an hour-long commie watch, really, guys, isn't it? There's a little bit of having a look at what happened in pre-season, but we're only 2 games in, so it's going to be a commie watch because there has been a lot of stuff happening, and the vast majority of it is obviously off the pitch. So look, talking about commie watch, Deck, for the first time this year.
Commie Watch with Ivan Draco on the Other Three Amigos Podcast.
Poor Wayne there is just like, if ever a face could describe the term Groundhog Day, like he's just, are you all right, Wayne? Like,
I just heard it and I was like, here we go again. Now, I'm very excited to be back for this amazing season that Cork City will be involved in. But it's just like, you get the impression the same shit, different day, don't you?
Let's not go negative. Early.
I'm being very positive. Unbeaten run this season. Champions of the first division, get promoted. I'm going to be very positive this season.
Okay.
I have a few positive angles to hit this season.
Brilliant. We'll see how long that lasts. I'm just going to change the running order here very so slightly because we already mentioned the Munster FA, so we might as well start with that. I think it was last Thursday, or maybe it was Friday, there was this statement came out from the Munster FA deck. I'm sure you've buddies in there. You would have had a working relationship with that group.
You could count them literally on one finger, I'd say. But anyway.
Well, look, I would imagine you had as many buddies as Cork City do now. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Like
it's a guess, but
I suppose. Look, the statement came out. The MFA are looking now for all media outlets, journalists, broadcasters, as you said, to refer to the stadium as the Munster FA Turner's Cross Stadium. So, look, I'm sure there'll be people reading between the lines here and coming up with their own theories and all of that about what's happened. Look, at least I can only speak for myself, and in my opinion and my own personal experience, like it's never been an easy relationship, I think, between Cork City and the MFA. Like I even think back to times there, like you would think, no lads, Cork City FC securing a sponsor like Easy Living to come in, build the Easy Living suite, like add significant commercial value to the stadium and match night experience, etc., etc. Like you would just think, like looking at this, absolute no-brainer, happy days. This will be a 10-minute conversation, and not like that in itself, like, and that'll be a chapter itself in my book probably. But I can't imagine, and it's a learning curve for anyone, I think, who comes in, whether you're were a new board member when Forrest were in charge of the club and you started to get to know the folks in the MFA board and some of the things that you had to deal with. And I'm sure Dermot, I don't exactly know if he's had any arguments with the MFA and stuff like that over the last few years. I would just say the law of averages suggests he probably has. But that's just my own guess and opinion on it. But there's obviously lease agreements and terms of leases, and then I'm sure Dermot's been trying to do things to the stadium to improve it. Like he made promises to improve the toilets and all that, and like that probably hasn't happened to maybe the level that he described initially. And you have to start wondering, like, again, similar to the Easy Living Suite, guy comes in and says he's going to do all this stuff, and it doesn't happen. Like you'd have to scratch your head and be like, what the hell's going on here? Like, and look, it just all points, I think, at least in my opinion, to like, look, and to be fair, there might be some sense to it with the MFA and wanting to maintain full, absolute control, power of the stadium. They don't want it being in charge or the lease and freehold being held by a League of Ireland club, and maybe that's for the best. But there's been talk that the whole reason for this has been like a possible marketing activity, and that eventually then it will lead to the Munster FA part being dropped, and it will be called something like Super Value Turners Cross, like the park. But like, I don't know, like it's very strange. I can't see how they ever thought this was going to go down well with anyone. Like that to me is the biggest shocking thing about the whole thing, is just like put out the statement, press release, bombarded everywhere, and did they actually think like, oh, this will be great, and the radio stations and all that will just pick it up as a nice, happy-go-lucky story. There'll be no social media negative reaction. Like surely they expected like the negative backlash they saw from mostly Cork City fans anyway, and it's laughable across the League of Ireland as well. There's other clubs making jokes about it and things like that, and great memes and whatnot. Like, so it's yeah. Your thoughts, lads? I'd like to hear what you think about it.
Scott Decky says there that like backlash from Cork City fans, but it hasn't just been from Cork City fans. It's just been from everyone on the planet going, "Asha lads, what are you at? Like, what's the point of this?"
It's pure muscle flexing, and I'm all for it. To be honest, I think it's great fun. I know I am. I think it's the height of pettiness you're ever going to see. And but it is in my opinion, and I think it's true.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's like when I saw it, I tweeted like 147 characters, whatever it is. I just think it's mad stuff. And whoever thought of this now, sitting in their boardroom with their suits and their cups of whatever they're drinking, must have gone like, did anyone at the table go, lads, like, what are you doing? They're just having the fun, just having a bit of crack, and it's being petty. Like I wouldn't even think Cork City would do something like this. And I think, I tweeted Cork City that night, and I apologised for baiting them for the last 3 years, because this was just the height of, it's just crazy stuff. Like,
but isn't there a side to this, Dominic, that I don't think they've considered, in that we came on here and Scotty was massive for it, like just berating Cork City Football Club and Dermot over the state of the toilets. Nobody's ever again going to berate Cork City over the state of the toilets, over the broken seats, over the general dirtiness and untidiness of the place. The Munster FA have slapped their name on the ownership and slapped their name on the name of the stadium, the Munster Football Association Turners Cross Stadium. There is nobody else responsible now for the stadium, only the Munster FA. And when we go out there against Treaty and the place is dirty and there's broken seats and the toilets smell of piss, then everybody's going to look at them. Nobody's going to look anywhere else, and rightfully so. Look at them.
Yeah, 100%, Decky. Although I don't think it's an issue as such. I mean, clearly what they're doing is putting out a statement of intent that by putting their name to it, they're saying we're going to look after this place now. Anything that needs to be done, because who would want to put? Joe, would we put the name Totap in front of a complete dump? Of course not. You're going to, if you're putting your name to it, you're announcing that you are going to make this your pride and joy. And I mean, we can expect state of the art. Usher didn't deliver good toilets, so the MFA clearly have come in to save it, to save the day now. It's the only solution, really. I mean, if you're putting your name to something, you're going to make it the best thing you can possibly make it. So it'll be cleaned. The toilets will be better. There'll be better facilities. The seats will be fixed, and there won't be any complaining out of them either, because it's their stadium. They've made it clear, and I think that's what they were. I'm led to believe that what they wanted was, it's a rebranding. Essentially, it's in order to get their name out there and let there be no confusion about who owns the place. So happy days. I mean, this is an absolute positive.
According to Google, it's Cork's DFC Turner's Cross. So, like, I trust Google over. Do you know what I mean? And
Scotty,
I've checked it every day. I've got up at 3 a.m. I've checked it just to be sure it's right.
Is it true the Turner's Cross Stadium Wikipedia page has been like locked down by the Wikipedia mods?
Yeah, there's wiki wars.
Can somebody explain all this to me? Because I saw screenshots and fellas changing things, and I've no idea how you change things on Google. How you change things on Wikipedia.
I use Google a lot. When I go to like places, I rate them. Do you know? Because I think it's Google is the best. If you're going to a hotel, you check Google. You don't check TripAdvisor, because they can all buy ratings. They all can, but Google is kind of the most trustworthy one. So I checked it, and it said Munster FA Turns Cross Stadium. I was like, oh, whoa, hang on, this isn't real. So I, with my, kind of high-level background of, Google ratings, I changed it to Turner's Cross, which it should be. And then some other smart ass goes, Cork City FC Turner's Cross Stadium, and it's stuck, and they can't change it.
You sure it's not the Dermy Dome?
It was changed to Dermy Dome.
It was that for a while.
Yeah.
So
but Wikipedia then is like the forum. Like, you have people who are very anal about how things are done and stuff. So if you a person going in editing it and it's wrong, they'll lock it down, they'll shut it down. It's like fucking the KGB stuff going on there. Like,
but who decides whether it's wrong or right then?
These really important people behind keyboards.
Wikipedia has moderators
like the forum.
When a page gets edited, then they get an alert.
Okay.
People take the piss out of different people down the years.
Final thing on this, so guys, and I'll ask the three of you, and you can all give an opinion. Is it no fair to say that the stadium is representative of the organisation that it's named after? Because, it's old, it's dilapidated.
Sorry, Peter.
It's broke.
Jesus.
And it has massive issues in the toileting department.
This is the best thing that's happened to Dermot Usher. You know that?
You're using AI here for your jokes. You're as bad as Cork City, are you?
I'm not using the AI. Never in my fucking life would I use AI to fucking come up with a joke, man.
Can you give me some funny metaphors and similes?
Rejoice. We'll get to that now in a minute. So, okay, is it reflective of the organisation it's now named after? Or have I been too harsh again?
No, you're completely right in your opinion.
You, Scott.
I would say, in my opinion, you're right in your opinion. Just covering all legalities there, lads. Just in case.
Dominic, if this is the crash course on how to behave on this podcast, then how to your phraseology.
You allegedly,
it's true though.
Yeah.
Dominic has a point here. Usher is the best thing that's happened to him, because he can't get any. Like, City don't have to spend a penny on this stadium anymore.
Yeah.
They don't have to do anything. Anything that's wrong, I would be writing an email every single day to the Munster. Like, did you ever see the Shawshank Redemption? Do you remember Andy Dufresne used to email about getting the library in the back, and he emailed every day for like 6 years. We need to do this. We need to email the Munster Football Association, not the Munster Flying Association or the Munster Fishing Alliance, and getting Turner's Cross improved.
But I never thought of it the way Dominic put it forward there. That's
very good.
You put your name to something, then you have to have the intention of improving it and making it better. So, like, if that's what they're doing, then fantastic. Brilliant. Decky there said, rejoice. Like, Are we using AI now for our promos and our advertisements? Because no football club in the world would ever use the word rejoice when advertising casual wear or jerseys to the fan base. It's just, so this is either AI or it's a company has been employed who's come up with this fucking thing, but rejoice and support the team all year round. That's not football talk. That's not
I'm trying to find
football talk.
One of them
The
was
fatal error they made.
Yeah.
And what caught them out was they had the hyphens between the three words, like step along or those kind of... AI puts hyphens between the words. I'm not sure the exact wording.
And loads of commas. Like commas. It was, I have them here. One was, show your city pride for 2026. From jerseys to everyday essentials, discover the newest Cork City FC merch. Like it's from the Cork City FC Facebook account, and back the team all year round. Like, who says that? And then the other one had a couple of players modelling the merch, with decent photos and all that, but then it said, Cork City FC fans, rejoice! ! Get ready to show your city pride, with a small c, with our new 2026 merch collection. Jerseys and everyday essentials, we've got you covered. Back the team all year round and gear up now. I mean, who in the name of God talks like that from Cork, unless you're from Douglas or Rochester? I mean, in all fairness.
I don't even think people from Rochester talk like that, Declan, to be honest with you. I think this is American English, like.
Yeah, and it is American English, and Athlone are now using an American company, but they're owned by Americans. I think Bray Wanderers are doing a little bit of it as well, but look, fair enough, but like, yeah, it's just rejoice.
Anyway, that's for sure, all right?
Yeah,
they're sponsored ads as well, which obviously differentiates from when the social media guys are crafting their own tweets and all that. But like, what about the statement that went out as well for Simon Grayson? Was it when he came in? That was just like on X, a big gigantic like fucking 400 or 500 word essay. Like, that was out and out AI generated, like a winning partnership, a heading, and then the paragraph under it. Like, that's just complete and utter ChatGPT stuff. Like, and football fans smell that a mile off. And like,
but you see, this is the thing. They don't. They think that football fans are not streetwise, where they're probably the most streetwise people on the planet are football fans.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we did put it back into ChatGPT, and we asked ChatGPT, "Is this something you would write?" And came back and said, he or she, I should say, came back and said, I didn't write this for you, but it looks like I did write it for somebody. Do you know what I mean? So, like...
the stuff we do at Tall Tap Towers when we're beavering away, lads. I mean, it's
so did Scotty, in terms of that, so has had ChatGPT copyrighted it for another party? Is that basically what it's telling you? I didn't write it for you, so you can't use it. But
I wrote it for someone else. I did write it, but I can't tell you.
Gas, isn't it?
It's mad. Like, AI is amazing if you know how to use it. It really is, but you have to know how to use it. Because the world is getting very smart very quickly, and if you're not on that boat,
okay, lads. In other news, no, I know we don't want to talk about Forest, but we kind of have to talk about Forest because it's really the only communication from the club to the fan base in the off season came through the minutes of a Forest meeting that was held before Christmas and before Ger Nash departed the club. I guess the big thing for the fan base from this was that it was the third of 4 meetings scheduled for the year. Obviously, because it happened just the week before Christmas, there was 1 meeting missed during the year, and Dermot wasn't available to attend this meeting. And the reasoning given was that he's not in Cork much that time of year, and even though the meeting was done over Zoom, he didn't want to appear on Zoom as he prefers to hold meetings face to face. I'll keep my opinion to myself, other than saying that's the greatest load of bollocks I ever heard, to be honest with you. But it is come on, come on. If you don't want to do the meeting, just say I don't want to do the meeting. Like this stuff about it's not in Cork much, but only wants to meet in person. Killare's an hour and a half up the motorway. If you want to come down, you can come down for a night. You can come down for a day and do the meeting. Just as I said, just like back to your thing, Scotty, about thinking people are fools or whatnot. Like, do you know, like, I mean, just like, fuck me, like, you know, this is just, and like, here we are, we're half an hour in even, and we're getting stuck into him again already. And I didn't really want it to go this way this season, but the club just keeps making these stupid errors and just providing the fan base with no other option but to say, look, lads, come on. This is just nonsense.
Why wasn't it rearranged?
I think it was rearranged numerous times before Forest got to the point where they just said, we have to have it. And if Dermot's not going to be there, then in the interest of Forest membership, it's better that we go ahead and meet the club as opposed to not going ahead with the meeting at all.
Mad.
Like, it's kind of widely known that, like, Dermot agreed to meet the Forest board, like, quarterly as part of the takeover agreement or whatever. Like, I'm sure that's not, like, highly confidential information or whatever. Like, my worry is, like, if you said there, Dick, like, this is the third of what was supposed to be 4 meetings this year. I don't know if that's the case or whatever. I'd have to triple check. And then Dermot didn't attend this one, albeit even dial in virtually, even though the meetings, from what I read on the forum, did happen over Zoom or online or whatever. Like, I just worry then that, like, that kind of condition of the takeover or whatever will just acquiesce to, it doesn't really have to happen anymore, because, like, Forest aren't really pushing it to take place in the manner that it was supposed to be and intended, in the good faith, honest, fair, transparent way that it was committed to and all that. And I just worry that if it starts to kind of peter out, or, like, you know, that they don't put a bit of pressure on the club to actually facilitate this in the way that it was supposed to be done, in the good, honest way that it was intended, that the club will then just, like, say, oh, well, look, ye acquiesced to just meeting staff members of the club and whatever, so that's good enough for you now, like, and then eventually it will just fizzle out because the Forest board might get frustrated, or there could be a change of board at the AGM as well coming up. I don't know, is there places up for election, stuff like that. Like, I just worry that that's what happens. But thankfully, I think enough Forest members are pissed off about this, and like, I hope the board take note. And to be fair to them, they're all sensible lads, and I think they will take note now that the eyeballs are on this, like, and that, you know, it won't be accepted by the membership, like, going forward. But look at, it's a shame, really, how it played out.
It's a shame, Dominic, but I mean, I don't know whether you're a Forest member or not, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But like, what's your view on this whole setup?
Well, first, just on Dick's point there, so you do get a sense of frustration from Forest, from the communication they put out, that they're probably frustrated. They're trying to arrange these meetings. Like, what I find hasn't been asked yet, and Dick, you might know about this. So it was a condition of the takeover was that he meets with Forest 4 times a year. But was there ever any consequence of what happens if he doesn't? Was there ever anything said about that, or like what?
Oh God, I don't obviously have the agreement in front of me, Dominic, right now. But it might be something I read over after the podcast just to have a look at it. But, like, to be honest, like, I don't think it would say it was a condition that the takeover happened. It was a commitment, like, within the agreement, like, that he would meet the Forest board quarterly, with the best of intentions, etc., etc. And then he would also then have, like, an annual forum with Forest members as well, which was, like, I think a couple of them have taken place in, like, UCC, and he's done, like, a live in-person Q&A with a couple of dozen people. I think there's been 2 of them so far. Would I be right, Dick, in that? 2 or 3? So.
And there's one planned for the new year.
Yeah.
Well, you know, before pre-season.
Yeah. So, like, like, it's not difficult. Like, it should just happen. And going back to Wayne's point, like, you know, football fans are streetwise and they'll pick up on all this stuff. And Cork City fans are, like, the fandom is enormous, and, like, there's a huge online community and stuff like that, and they'll pick up on all this stuff. And again, like, he doesn't have a lot of credit in the bank at the moment. Like, he's not getting the benefit of the doubt. So, like, there might be a slim chance that maybe there was extenuating circumstances or some valid reason that he couldn't join or whatever. But, like, no one is going to give him that credit or that, like, privilege, like, to say, fair enough. Dermot's a great guy, etc., etc. He's run the club well the last few years, and he's never pissed off the fans, and he's never if he couldn't make it, he couldn't make it. But he's just not going to get that credit in the bank, and he needs to work his way back up if he's going to stay around. And that's a big if, in my opinion.
Two things on that, Dick. So the first thing is if he is... So he was at the Watford friendly. So if he's able to come down and from Kildare for a friendly against Watford in Lakewood at 11 a.m. on a Wednesday, then he can make time to come down at some point. He had 6 months. That's the other thing is if there was extenuating circumstances, there was a reason he couldn't make it, that's fair enough. You have to give him the benefit of the doubt. But he had 6 months. He missed Q3 and Q4 one.
Yeah. I have to read between the lines. I have to read between the lines, Dominic, and just say,
exactly.
This is again my opinion on the matter, looking at it from the outside, that they're not getting on very well, given Forest made a couple of statements last year as a board, public statements around the ticket pricing and things like that. They did the whole, concession ticket purchase scheme for anyone in need of support for buying tickets for matches, and they brought out the Sultan's jersey as well around the time of the cup final, I'm sure. Look, did that potentially take away merchandise revenue from Cork City FC? Potentially. It's a nice bit of Cork City football related merch that's available. So, and
Dex, sorry,
the
just
club not have jerseys. I know, did the club not have jerseys?
There was no club jerseys available pre-cup final, so I don't see how it could have.
I'm just being fully devil's advocate here, Dick, from Bishopstown perspective, what they're thinking and possibly saying, when they log on a Tuesday morning, I'm sure Bishopstown is buzzing at the coffee machine, to see Forest after coming out with a jersey, for fuck's sake. Did they say it to anyone? Nah, they didn't. They just drove on. And in fairness to Forest, it was so well done. Press release, photo shoot, huge sales. The Sultans were tweeting about it. Fans of the Sultans all across Europe were retweeting and got great coverage. I can't imagine it went down well with the club. And look, I'm only just looking at things from the outside and thinking right, is the relationship between Dermot and the board frosty? It probably is, would be my opinion. But it's disappointing. I think the board have to act really, and if they haven't already, I hope they have send a fairly stern message to the club to say we're not accepting this anymore, and copy and paste the section from the takeover agreement and be this is what's in the thing.
But Deck, even if there's I don't know, I have no idea, obviously. I doubt there's something written in the agreement, and even if there is, what can you do? There's nothing. I mean, what are you going to do? There's nothing. I know,
but
do.
But again, it's just not helping
agreement.
It's not. It's written.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So I think anyway, allegedly. But I know, Deck, what you're saying, but this is football at the end of the day, and football is more about this was an honest thing that was said. It was in his takeover pitch, and he was I'll be fully engaged. He was saying, I don't want Forest members on my board or as consultants or whatever, but I will meet with the Forest board quarterly, and they can let me have it, and I'll meet with ye, and I'll stand up in front of ye once a year as well, and ye can let me have it. And that was the essence of it, in fairness. And it all sounded brilliant at the time. He was do you know what? I don't want anyone from Forest on the board, because look, in fairness, probably a risk of leaks and information and stuff like that. He probably just thought, do you know what? Probably a wise decision, but this is what I'll do. I'll be accountable to you still in an honest and transparent way. And look, and what I'm not a big fan of as well is I think the last time he did those Forest meetings, he brings an army of club employees with him. I think I remember him bringing Tim Clancy, Anna Buckley, the women's team manager. It's I don't know. It's obviously a tactic, I think, as well, so that he doesn't have to say too much. And football fans, by nature, will get deeply engrossed with what the football people then are saying. They'll get bored pretty quickly of the business corporate guy, and they'll want to hear what the football guy is saying.
Actually, that's something, because we haven't spoken about this, but that's something I was thinking about as well. The meetings with Forest members and Dermot are supposed to be one-on-ones, and bring in the manager and the women's manager and everything else dilutes those interactions and kind of things. So I think there should be two. There should be an open hall meeting with the managers if the club want to arrange that, and then Dermot has his meeting with the Forest membership.
Agreed. Yep.
Scotty, I know this is starting so negative, but it's not where we'll be all season, we promise you. The club said they wish to mention a slide which was included in the members' questions and also circulates online, which outlines a list of commitments Dermot made when looking to take over the club. These are used as a stick to beat Dermot with people suggesting that these commitments have not been met. But that ambition for European football remains. A director of football was hired, but it unfortunately didn't work out. Investment has been made in the women's team. A marketing executive has been hired, and the club has ended all gambling sponsorship.
Who said this?
This was the club speaking to Forest at this meeting. The club is focused on plans for long term, but that, as mentioned previously about pulling back from communication, the club understands that they will receive criticism right now and there will be a better time to communicate more. So that slide, which everybody saw, which was from Dermot's initial acquisition of the club are saying it's not fair that those commitments are used as a stick to beat Dermot with. Is that something you'd agree with?
I don't care really, to be honest with you. Anything they say, no, I don't. I take it with a pinch of salt.
But isn't that a massive issue for the club that literally that's where the fan base or the majority of the fan base are now? It's just like, we don't care what you say, we don't believe you, we have no interest.
I have no interest in listening to them or anyone who supports this. What's going on or what has gone on in the past? It's in the past, and I'm going to move on from it. But I just think that it's a bit rich to be talking like that and then not bothering to show up to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The ambition for European football remains, Dominic.
Well, just want to be a bit more ambition. I mean, how long have we been set back? We would have hoped back in 2023 that by now we'd be challenging to get into Europe. But, I mean, we're best case scenario this time next year, we're back at square one. So how long from there?
It'd be 4 wasted years then.
Absolutely. But even just back on that stick to beat him with part, is that the line that the club are taking now, that our lies shouldn't be used against us? And the way I'd looked at it, there was plenty of subject matter to go by and that from that meeting, but that line in particular really stood out because they're basically saying, yeah, we promised so much and we haven't delivered on it, but that shouldn't be used against us. It's kind of admitting, yeah, we've done shite, but who are you to tell us otherwise? I'd imagine standing in a court saying, Your Honour, my client was drink driving, but that shouldn't be used. That shouldn't be used as a stick to beat him with.
Yeah, and that's it's fair. And there was stuff about the women's team, investment in the women's team. Before Dermot came to the club, none of the women's team were getting expenses, and that has changed. My understanding is the expenses is a myriad. You need a degree in mathematics to work it out, and some of the expenses are a tenner a week for players who don't get on the pitch, etc. The coaching budget for the senior under 23 and under 17 teams has increased. Brilliant. Fantastic. He said some people think investment only means new signings, but that is not the case. And I will make the point that I always make, and it comes on the men's side as well. What is the plan once this young women's team that they think can kick on, when all those players come to an age where other clubs are interested, they want to sign them? What is Cork City's plan at that point? Because Niamh Cotter was probably the first one to hit that milestone, and she's playing her football in Galway this coming season. We're talking a great game and we're talking around in circles, but the proof of the pudding is on the pitch. As we all know, last year the women finished bottom and the men finished bottom. We're now a first division football club. The rest of it is just fucking nonsense as far as I can see, to be honest with you, and I'm not really going to waste much more time on it. One question there, Dec, you mentioned, is the club for sale? I think everything's for sale. I think all businesses are for sale.
I would say so. Like, you even saw banter there between Elon Musk and O'Leary there from Ryanair. Like, Musk was saying, I'll buy Ryanair or whatever, and it was all that. But all jokes aside, I don't want to commit too much to it, like, and I don't have enough detail yet. But like, I do think it is alleged that conversations have been taking place about the club possibly being taken over by someone new.
Like, I think we have to be careful here because the club has to have conversations. If somebody wants to have a conversation with the club, I think the club are duty bound to have that conversation. A lot of it is tire kicking. We all know that. Dec, you know that better than anybody else.
Oh, God,
yeah. Like, on the 16th of January, somebody tweeted with a League of Ireland connection. Flight from Dubai was 2.5 hours late landing at Heathrow. So I had to get to Terminal 5 from Terminal 2 into Gate 822 in less than 15 minutes. So I can only apologise to anyone who was in the way and mistaken me for a young hippo at full pelt. Now, that tweet is accompanied by a photograph of the wing of an Aer Lingus plane, and I think it's the Poolbeg Towers in the distance. So I knew this person wanted to have a conversation about buying, investing in whatever terminology you want to use in Cork City. So I messaged my man, not this person, but I have contacts. I messaged my contact and said, look, he's in Dublin. Is it Cork City related? And word came back, yes, it is Cork City related. Now, word also came back that it's probably not going to go any further, and that's fine as well, But the point is, I think the club are willing to have conversations if there are people who are looking to have conversations. And that's fine. That's the way it should be. And as I said, I think every business is for sale if the right person comes along willing to do the right deal.
Everyone has a price. I always say it. Like, and sure, the club's going to have a price. Like, if someone comes in with a mad offer, they're going to take it. And like, we had a guy on a couple of weeks ago, and he was on about American ownership takeovers and stuff. And I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who'd bite the hand off owning the club, and I'm sure would bite the hand off them with a bit of cash. It's stated, he states a few times that he's put a lot of money in the club. He'll want it back, and fair is fair. Whatever he's put in, he deserves to have it back. I totally get that too. There
is a theory out there as well that Simon Grayson is kind of like the early landing party.
Yes.
He's here to have a look around, see how things work, investigate it, and then go back to Guy and his investors and kind of say, yeah, this is worth having a look at. No, it's not worth having a look at. Like, Dominic, do you think there's any merit in that theory?
Yeah, well, from listening to your interview with Guy, that very much seems to be how it came across, in my opinion anyway. I mean, if you're talking to the agent of an advisor to the board, to the owner, then...
No, to the board. You're correct, to the board, not to the
Yes, owner. Yeah, the board, the one-man board. If you're talking to the agent for an advisor, then why would you be talking about trade links with America and stuff like that? It seemed very much different to what you would have expected beforehand. And you even said that you weren't expecting it.
Not at all, no. We didn't think he was, Guy himself was involved in those types of groups or was willing to talk about them to us. But it was just interesting. And he mentioned that him and a group had looked at Cork City back in like 2017, 2018. But yeah, I don't know. You're right,
one
Dominic.
Final one before we move on. Dominic mentioned there's an advisor to the board of management, and he slipped his tongue and said advisor to the owner. Is the advisor to the owner having departed that role? Does anybody know?
The previous
whisper
one?
that he had, but I don't know.
The previous advisor to the owner?
Yeah, well, no, there's an advisor to the owner and an advisor to the board. Simon Grayson's the advisor to the board. Is there still an advisor to the owner in place, or has he stepped back?
Are you referring to Damien Delaney? Because
yes.
He said on a podcast last year that he was at the other end of a phone call if Dermot ever needed him, etc., etc. I presume you're alluding to him.
I am.
Yeah.
But I also heard that he was stepping back from that role.
I heard similar, but I can't confirm or deny.
Okay. So we're both hearing the same thing, but we can't really...
Potentially, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I guess, look, we leave the Comedy Watch stuff there. So for the moment, we have had a little bit of pre-season. Dominic, you are in Lakewood for the game against Waterford. Late Josh Fitzpatrick goal won it. I know it's pre-season, etc., but and Barry Robson was just in the door. Was there anything you took from the game? Like was there anything massively different that jumped out at you at 11 o'clock on a random Thursday morning?
Yeah. What I found very interesting at first was we had two different teams for the first half and the second half. The formation for the first half we went with was a 4-4-2, which Wayne, you would have been delighted. The second half was a 4-3-3. Now, neither of those are 3-4-3, which I'm led to believe is Barry Robson's preferred formation. It'd be great if we didn't go to 3-4-3. I do prefer back four, especially in the first division. The team lineup. So Harry Nevin started right back, and he was down as a trialist, which was kind of interesting. I was spent ages trying to work out who the trialist was, thinking, "Jeez, he looks awfully like Harry Nevin." But yeah, a couple of things that stood out. The intensity was definitely there. It was a very good game, and you can win a match in pre-season, and you're like, okay, it's just pre-season. You can't read too much into it. Watford played a strong team. They had a strong team. We had a strong enough team. You'd say on paper their team was probably stronger than ours, but even throughout the game, we were the better team. There was no doubt about it. The style that we were kind of playing, we were holding a lot of possession in midfield and then looking for a quick switch into the corners. So we were crossing it down, and Brodie Lee was playing as a right midfielder and kind of pushing up high. Yeah, I suppose we were kind of switching into almost like a 4-3-3 at that point, but he was playing a switch up to Brodie Lee, and he was very good. Shawnee was playing in behind Keating almost, so it was like 4-4-1-1 out of possession, and then in possession Shawnee would get up into a striker's position. So that's something I've been looking for a long time, because I think having Shawnee as a sole 9 last season really cost us a lot, because he's better running with the ball, or he's better running into space, and having him isolated like he was last year was a bit worrying. So if he's going to be playing in as a 10, it would be quite good. Now, will we play a 3-man midfield or a 4-man midfield? Something that stood out in the second half was Derek Crowley was playing as a 6, but it took me ages to work out if he was a centre-back or in the middle of a back three, or was he playing in midfield, because he was very deep. So it looks, if you were to read between the lines there, it looks like Derek Crowley Robson could be planning on putting Derek Crowley as a 6, Shawnee as a 10, and then, who knows, hopefully not Greg Bolger throughout, because while he's certainly able for the first division, we don't want to repeat it last year where he gets overused. Killian Murphy's played 2 or 3 of the pre-season games so far. He seems to be liking to have a look at him anyway. So that seems to be the midfield 3 for me, from what I can say. Second half, Mpongo played as a left winger and a front 3. And what we were doing differently is, in the first half we were kind of playing long balls into the corners. Now we were playing fast balls in behind for Mpongo to run onto. So that could be another tactic he was looking at.
Interesting.
Did he look good, Mpongo?
Yeah, now the second half, the rain really came down, and it was so it was kind of hard to tell. You were kind of just trying to survive the elements more than anything. But yeah, from what I saw, even when he was picking up the ball, now he was drifting very wide, so he was right out by the sideline, and there was shouts for him to come in more central. I think they want him to play more central, particularly Faker Kelleher was really on him about that. But he seemed promising, in fairness.
So that was, we beat Waterford. That was a good result. We beat Middleton in the Munster Senior Cup with basically the under-20s. Then we went to Pats, drew 1-1 away at Pats. Rory Keaton's goal in this game, Wayne, it's a brilliant finish, and it just gets everybody's hopes up that this is going to be Keaton's level of finishing for the coming year. And if it is, it's going to be majestic.
Not to be negative, but it's the first division. Let's not get carried away.
He should be
scoring 20, 25 goals next season. We should go on and beat him. the positive things I'm going to take from this is that we're going to embed the youth team. We've got Robson who's going to try something different. And I expect Keaton to score 20. Any less, I'd be very, very, very disappointed. If Maguire stays, I expect him to score 20 as well. I really do. We need to be banging in 100 goals this season.
No pressure, lads. No pressure.
It's not pressure. It's fucking the first division. We could fucking tug out and centre half for them. No problem.
And I don't know if because we haven't talked about it, maybe we can park the Maguire thing now for a few minutes, maybe talk about that in a while. But yeah, I agree with Wayne. Like, it's nice again as football fans. We're excited to see us scoring, and it was a good result against Pats. And as you said, Dick, great to see Keating back, and one of his first kind of full games since coming back, really, and great finish over the shoulder. And the camera quality, I don't know what knocked the 3310 that was recorded on the club's Twitter account, but it was hard enough to see. But yeah, it looked like a very decent finish, and fair play to Keats. Great to see him back, and delighted for him. And looks like he's had a good pre-season, and he's hopefully going to be back better than ever. And yeah, but again, as Wayne said, Shawnee, if he's here, like I'm hearing is again last week that there are ongoing conversations between our friends up in Tala and our friends in Bishopstown. So it remains to be seen if he will feature for the club this year, whether that's a loan agreement or whether he signs for them permanently. Like, who knows? Yeah, it'll just be a shame.
Can I just say on that, it is my understanding that he was sick, he was ill, and that's why he missed the game against St. Pat's, and it was nothing,
I would say
directly linked to.
And I heard he had some potential issues as well that needed some physio and stuff like that as well in recent weeks too. So I wouldn't read too much into that, to be honest.
Yeah.
If he doesn't feature in any more of the games in pre-season, then I would be like, something going on here now. But yeah, we'll wait and see how that one plays out.
It's too late for him to go now as a club. Like, yeah, we have 3 strikers, but I wouldn't be. I think it's too late now. If you get rid of him, get rid of him before Christmas, and that's it. Get the job done. Like,
sorry, I was just going to say Charlie Hanover scored in the Middleton game. Now, according to the 1984 account, which, to be fair, is very, very reliable, Charlie's after suffering an injury in training and may miss a decent amount of time. We don't seem to have much luck either, If Shawnee went on, Charlie would have been third choice behind Hansen Pongo and Rory Keaton. Obviously, if he's after getting injured and is going to miss a bit, it's just like he has a great finish in Middleton. You're thinking, okay, this is a lad who might come in and get decent minutes and score a few goals and maybe look like he might be able to do something in the Premier Division next year. And again, it's just another injury setback.
Well, yeah, and I suppose it's easy to look at the fact he scored a goal and be like, okay, that's a good sign. But if you look at what he did in the rest of the match, I thought he was very promising. He was making he was getting into the right spaces. He looked good on the ball. He was able to hold up when he had the ball. He was able to run at players. He was able to keep possession. I thought more so than just a goal, because anyone can score a goal if they get lucky. He just looked like a very solid, promising player, and he's a good lad by all accounts. And I do think if he can stay fit, then this is the opportunity. We can blood him through and potentially have a good player there for the future.
Can I just say on the goal he scored, and it's a tiny thing, but it was my favourite thing about the goal. Now, it's a great finish across the keeper, etc. But he pointed, like he told the midfield player, there, that's where I want the ball. And there was too often in the game these days, I feel like the striker is dictated to by the midfielder, and the midfielder just plays the ball where they want to play it, and then the striker has to work with that. Whereas Charlie Hanover was like, you fucking play the ball into that space there where I want it, and I'm showing you play it, and don't you dare play it anywhere else. And he forced the midfielder to make the pass. I know it's a great ball as well, but it was just that little bit of thing, and I was just kind of looking and I was going, okay, and I can't think of the young lad's name in midfield who played the ball, but it's like brilliant. I just hope when Greg Bulger's in the same position with the ball, you do the same thing for Greg and say, Greg, there, that's where I want it. You're playing it there and going, because if he does, it's a great sign.
Yeah, it's easy to be commanding with players your own age and stuff, but if you can go in and be telling somebody like Greg Bulger where you want the ball and be that assertive, that, like, if that's the standard that he's at, and that is incredible. And
that's a big thing.
It shows an element of wisdom too, and of knowledge, of knowing where you want it, not to just react, see where the ball lands and deal with it. You're thinking ahead, because in football, if you have to think about what you want to do when you get the ball, it's already too late. You've already lost it. You need to know what you're going to do. You need to know your next steps. And if he's thinking ahead like that, then it's a great sign.
Speaking of thinking ahead, guys, we're going to think ahead to part 2, where it's just the mailbag, so we won't be long left, but we'll be right back after this message from the sponsors.
Hey there, Toe Tapper. This podcast is sponsored by NordVPN, and we have a deal of a lifetime. So listen up. Are you still surfing the web with all your personal info hanging out? That's like going to Fountainstown with your Mickey dangling for all to see. But fear not, my digitally exposed friend. NordVPN is here to hide your pecker. With NordVPN, you can cloak your online presence faster than the club counts gate receipts. Say goodbye to those pesky ad trackers and hello to streaming shows from all over the globe. Want to watch a dodgy stream without it buffering? NordVPN might just make it happen. And hackers trying to steal your data? They'll have better luck finding Kimberly Mikado in the tea room. NordVPN's got more layers of security than the VIP section on match day. So what are you waiting for? Get NordVPN today and surf the web with style, security, and a sprinkle of quirkiness. Go to nordvpn.com/toetap for our exclusive deal. It's practically free. You miserable.
Right, guys, welcome back for the first time. Are we sticking with Postman Pat? Is he back for this year, is he?
You didn't really take a proper break, so
all that work we did in the off-season is paying off, lads. Fair play.
It is. It's mad. It was only yesterday we decided we'd come back tonight, oh,
Christ.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Magic stuff, lads.
Postman Pat, and in black and white cat.
The cat mix race.
Early in the morning, a one bagger man is yawning. Him pick up all of the post bag in a head.
Like I was kind of hoping maybe for Christmas Santa would bring us some new jingles for 2026. But it remains to be seen. Who knows? Maybe
see what happens.
Santa might come around Easter time this year. You never know. Stranger things have happened.
Patreon questions. Like Dan calls out to name, I'm not going to name the Patreons because just some of these are getting close to the bone. So we'll give them their anonymity. First one, how did the off season go for you lads? Any holidays? So glad you're back. So one person's glad we're back anyway. It was just a quiet off season, guys, I take it, was it? Nothing.
Yeah, good Christmas at home with the kids. I'm at that annoyingly frustrating parenting stage where the kids get more enjoyment out of the cardboard box than the toys you get them. So, other than that, it was fabulous. Yeah, and no trips or anything to the best of my knowledge.
Okay, cool. We'll move on. Would like to see a 1st to 10th prediction for the division. Are Kerry destined for the playoffs? I think they might be. I had a look at this. I don't expect you. I went City, Wexford, Cove, UCD, Kerry getting in 5th, Bray in 6th, Longford 7, Treaty 8, Harps 9th, and Athlone bottom. Without having much insight. The only note I made was Wayne Groves, who's manager at Longford, I think is possibly, obviously not Barry Robson included, but of the rest, I think pound for pound, Wayne Groves might be the best manager in the league. What he did with Longford last year was pretty impressive with their resources and what they had available to them. That's just a bit of a random shout. Yeah. Anybody else want to pitch in?
Yeah, I've actually looked into this. Well, I've City first, UCD second, Cove third, Bray fourth, Harps 5th, KFC 6th, Treaty 7th, Wexford 8th, Athlone 9th, and Longford bottom. So we've very different predictions on Wexford.
And UCD.
And UCD.
And Hearts.
Yeah, we've a few now. I think with UCD, the way I'm thinking, without looking into who they've signed and stuff, I kind of gave that a bit of a skip. But typically, I think they're due a return almost to the Premier Division. If we weren't there, because they kind of go in cycles like that. You know, they'll go down to the First Division, they'll have a shite year, they'll have a kind of competitive year, and then they usually win the First Division. But obviously they can't now because we're there, and we're obviously going to win it.
But they lost Sean Brennan to Bray. I think was it the middle of last season or start of last season. He got a 2-year deal at Bray, but players have just ran out of the Carlisle grounds this off season. I think like Scotty obviously is going to have some very interesting and hard nights when City go to Bray and things with his love for Bray Wanderers, you know. But our continuity Cabinteely as they will be again for the season coming. But look, we'll get into all that as the season goes on. Who will be our biggest challengers to win this Tin Pot League? Queenstown, KFC, Continuity, Cabinteely. I know that the next home game at Munster FA Turner's Cross Stadium. Who do you see as the biggest challengers? Just one word.
Ourselves. Generally,
I reckon Cove, to be honest. I think they'll be decent.
Okay.
I would have said UCD or Cove, but actually Wayne is 100% spot on. Only we can stop us.
Yeah, he is. He is 100%. I was very much the end of last season. We may not come back up. Now, as I look at the rest of the league, I'm going, there's absolutely no chance we fail to win this league unless we somehow trip ourselves up.
The last time we were here.
Yeah, unless we somehow trip ourselves up. So what I did today, people might remember 2 years ago, I had 50 quid at 25 to 1 with Paddy Powers and City going unbeaten. With the winnings going to Marymount Hospice. I went back to Paddy this year and they wouldn't give me a price. They didn't, even though it was for charity, they wouldn't give. So Boyle Sports very kindly gave me a price of 33 to 1. So I had 50 quid today with Boyle Sports at 33 to 1. So that's 1,600 and odd euro for Marymount at the end of the season if Cork City can go unbeaten. I don't expect us to, but look, I did it 2 years ago, so I did it again this time. Lads, do you think the combination of Robson and Grayson will mean the Kildare man will be less involved with the football side of the club? And if they do, would there be enough people who have their ear, who are well versed in City culture, to restore some match night rituals and make the club more welcoming to club legends who've been marginalised?
There's so much to take out. There's so much skullduggery in that one post.
It does feel like it's pretty loaded, doesn't it? You know?
My answer is yes.
I think club legends who've been marginalised are marginalised and won't be re-engaging.
Do you know what? Can I make a point here? I think this season needs to be a season where we all just forget about the crap, the negativity, the nonsense, and just use it as a season to rebuild with a small bit of hope and happiness in seeing what we're going to see on the pitch. But that's down to the players, the ownership, and the managers to provide that to us. Does that make a bit of sense? Or is it a bit mad?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? I just think this is a season where we should just try and enjoy a bit of football. Not enjoy it, but like just go to the game and not get stressed out, not get pissed off, not get worried, not get annoyed. And just, I don't know.
So you're right there, Wayne. It would be good to have that kind of positive, because it is very difficult, the mental toll that supporting Cork City has taken up the last few years. But when we get to a point where we're just after playing Longford away and we've Athlone at home next, and it's like, Jesus, how'd you look forward to that?
That's the problem. But that's what I'm saying. It's down to the players, the manager, the owners to provide that for the fans. Like if we go in the first game and win a 5-0, win the next game 3-2, and there's a bit of, something to look forward to at a game and not have to worry about needing 3 points on a fucking Finn Harps away. I think it's a bonus, 100%. I'm going to try not getting stressed out anyway, because it wrecks my whole week. Absolutely.
I think we have to just start the season extremely well.
Yeah.
Beyond the path that Deck said, I think we were close enough to going unbeaten 2 years ago, Deck. Was it Athlone?
We lost the 2 away games in Athlone. They're the only 2 games we lost.
It's not beyond the realms of impossibility here.
That's hard. Yeah. It's hard.
The only thing is, I suppose, if we do have the league wrapped up with 9 games to go, he'll just start throwing.
That's the problem. Yeah. That's where it comes in. But look, we'll see what happens.
You never know. Look, I think the club should, statement of intent, sign well in the summer, similar to when we signed Shawnee and Keats, but sign some decent names again that show 2 to 3 years. I know, like I'm only praying.
And it's not because maybe the club won't want to, but there's been lots of conversations, and you meet this person, you meet this manager, you meet that player who are at other clubs, and they all say the same thing. Nobody who is an established League of Ireland, should we say senior player or manager, wants to come to Cork City. And that's a massive, massive issue. And people can believe it or not believe it, but it's the way it is. And if we're trying to sign players next summer, we're going to have to sign them from England or whatnot, because our reputation is in the mud. It's in the absolute muck.
Yeah,
and it's very, very hard unless you massively overpay, of course, you know. And we're lucky. I think Nash going means Rory Feely is here. My thing about we won't do it is it was based on Nash being here, and then I presume Rory Feely was going to be gone, and there was others gone, and Nash was telling us, you know, it's all players who want to be here, but yet you kept hearing that people kept going to Nash saying, I don't want to be here, and he kept saying, well, that's tough shit, you're staying because we're not letting you go. And it's like, well, you're fucking saying one thing in the media, and now you're hearing from lots of other places that this is what's actually going on behind the closed doors. So it looks like I hope all that's gone, and all that messing and all that thing is gone. And obviously it's good that Rory Feely's going to be here, and it's good that other players are going to be here. McLaughlin was one that was shoved out, or McLaughlin was one who wouldn't play for Ger Nash. Sean Murray was another one who yes, it's true his family are up north, but Murray was another one who wasn't entertaining Nash. Greg Bulger is only here because Nash is gone. You know, there's plenty of them around.
The thing is, when you heard Nash talk, you knew it was all just spiel, lines thrown out. With Robson's interview the first day, I just thought he generally was the kind of guy who doesn't give a fuck what people think. He won't care. He gets stuck in, and he's going to bollock a lot of players out of it. And if he does it his way, and if Usher walks into the dressing room, he's going to tell him to get out. Same with fans. Same with us. If we say something online, he's going to be in Cork City. Not to listen, but he'd be like, who the fuck are these guys?
That's the difference between an experienced manager that has a bit of a pedigree. And look, fair enough. Look, he managed Wraith Rovers and others. He doesn't have an elite
he got Aberdeen
level.
To third place in the Scottish Premier Division, which is basically winning the league, and he got him through Europe. So the second season wasn't good, but it's not like this guy's
and he comes
United,
from
do you know what I mean?
And comes from a very decent, very good level playing background at playing at the highest level in Europe and scoring in the Champions League and stuff like that. So, you know, that all helps too in terms of driving the right standards and the right.
Absolutely.
He knows how to speak to players and players of experience and stuff. So I'm hopeful. I'm like you, Wayne. I'm excited that, you know, hopefully he does well, and we need him to do well ultimately as City fans.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep motoring through these because we have to get to TikTok. Not TikTok, we have to get to Twitter and Instagram, I think. Who's going to be our biggest problem in the league this year? There doesn't seem to be a Galway, Waterford or Dundalk. I think Scotty said this already. We're going to be our own biggest issue. If we get that right, there won't be an issue. Richie's back. Decky. Does Barry prefer to meet for a coffee or a pint? Fuck's sake, I thought this shit was going to stop now for a year.
Never
He's definitely a Bovril man, I'd say, is he?
No, do you know what it is, Scott? Not a coffee or a pint. 7:30, Tony's Bistro, full Irish, four slices of toast, scalding hot cup of tea, whole thing done and dusted for 8 o'clock because he had to go to work. Do you know, I have a day's work to do. Hockey did full. And when I say full Irish, beans, mushrooms, hash browns, sausages. Right, he had the whole shebang up in the plate. Off out the gap, 5 to 8. I have to go to work, so it looks like
tomato
my
or no
Barry
tomato.
Tomato, whole shebang. Looks like it'll be 7:30 in Tony's Bistro from what I can see going forward. Anyway, most surprising or disappointing Cork City FC related occurrence in the off season, Scotty. Grimaces.
No, you're not going to drag me down to this level already, lads. I was quite happy in my off season. This second episode is that's the answer. I'm positive this year, lads. I'm not taking this shit now anymore.
No, but most surprising. It doesn't have to be most surprising or disappointing. Something surprising in the off-season.
Surprising was getting a proper manager in. disappointing was not signing anyone from Scotland, like that ex-Dunfermline shithouse 36-year-old midfielder, something like that we need. That's probably disappointing. I'd say. Yeah.
Deck, surprising or disappointing, doesn't have to be both.
Surprising was Jornash leaving the club. I thought that he would be here for 2026, but obviously he's not. And I'm sure we were all shocked and surprised when the news came out. And disappointing, I suppose. Look, fair enough. Yeah, the club have brought in Simon Grayson now and Barry Robson, and I don't know what role Simon Grayson is going to actually have in terms of commitment to the club and whatnot. But I think the club's kind of silence and lack of accountability after the cup final and stuff like that, and all that stuff leading up to Christmas, and then we got the news that Nash was leaving, and we did the 955 live and all that. It was just a fucking shit show, wasn't it? It was 6 or 7 weeks there of just utter silence. We lost the cup final. We got relegated. The club wouldn't use the R word. There was no accountability. I think it was just I was really in the pits in terms of lads, you just really don't know what you're doing here, But
Jar has a plan. Just nobody knew the plan was to fuck off to Sweden for a sign of bother, Dominic, how about you?
First time bother.
Yeah, relegation.
All right.
Whatnot. Off you go. Just swings and roundabouts, swings and roundabouts. Dominic?
Yeah, well, I mean, disappointing, as Deck said there with the silence, but that kind of level of contempt, we're going radio silent because you're being mean to us because we didn't do a good enough job. It's that lack of accountability is certainly an issue, but other than that, I mean, we can talk about the transfer activity or lack thereof. We could talk about the delay with the ticket prices, or we could talk about the Seanie Maguire saga, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
Just go. I know we've already touched on Seanie Maguire, but one big thing for me is maybe they had no intention of selling him. Maybe this was something that somebody picked up, made a complete rumour out of nothing, and it ties into the radio silence because all they had to do was communicate. Say they could have, if they had a relationship with Totap, for example, they could get on to somebody in Totap and say there's rumours out there, it's not true, and then everything would have gone to bed. But instead, the forum, for example, blew up. There was meltdowns, including from me, and fans just because from how it looked was we've cost ourselves a lot of money by not doing a good enough job, and now we're trying to save money. So it could have all been avoided basically because that the ticket prices, or not the ticket prices, but the delay in releasing the ticket prices, saving them till just before Christmas. Now that could have been down to a number of things, but to me what that looked like is they were waiting to see what would happen with Dundalk. If there was some kind of a way that we would avoid, because they made a great gesture by having €15 tickets, 15, 10, 5 is the right ticket prices. But if we had stayed up, if somehow we not earned our place in the Premier Division, but if Dundalk had shit showed us, then and gotten kicked out of it, then we would have been paying €25 next year, €30. Who knows?
Probably, yeah.
So, and it just kind of indicates that it's not that we saw the error of our ways and said, no, €25, we're ripping people off, fans aren't happy, and we're sorry for that, we're going to make a good gesture by bring the ticket prices back. It's, you can they're saying, fuck them, we'll show them, they'll let them complain about this now, and then we'll get them again next year instead. So,
I think that we covered it in depth, I suppose, but I think you're spot on. There's looking back now in hindsight, there's no way the club didn't maybe sit down sometime in September and say, if we're relegated and end up in the first division, this is the price, and if we stay in the Premier, this is the price. And they just waited and waited and waited until Dundalk got their licence, and it's just a shame. So many disappointing things.
Yours in here and cause absolute consternation with an exclusive.
Consternation? What's that?
Well, the surprise for me, I think, was the fact that around the turn of the new year, that we offered Tommy Barrett the manager's job. That she turned down.
Oh, there's surely a sound effect for this, like. What?
When was this? This is obviously before. Was this
around the new year?
So after Nash had gone, we didn't do a Tim Clancy in it. Like we actually waited until he was gone before offering someone a job, did we?
Yeah, I know. It was So New Year's Day, the 2nd of January, somewhere around that. Very, very early in the year.
Why would this person in question, who we've named, I don't know why I'm saying that,
Tom Barrett, treaty
turn it
manager?
down?
Because, to be fair to
He's
Tommy,
he's part-time at treaty.
Tommy's part-time and he's a full-time job. And I'm guessing Tommy would be looking at it going, fuck's sake, I have to give up that. Of course, he'd be a full-time manager coming down here, but there's a chance he gets sacked in June if we're not top of the league.
How do you go from Tommy Barrett to Barry Robson?
You tell me. I don't know. That's why it's surprising.
When did we sign Barry Robson? What date was that?
Hold on now.
2 weeks after.
It was after that. I mean, yeah, like the timeline fits. It's just one of those ones where I think the
11th of January for Barry Robson's announcement. That was when it was announced.
So,
and we knew kind of maybe
how many managers we offered till then, like
3 days before Barry Robson was announced. We kind of had it. So you'd say like the 7th, 8th of January. He was in
Tommy
Cork.
said no, and I think they gave the reins to Simon Grace, and then who did the Barry Robson thing pretty quickly. But it looks of things. No, that obviously doesn't come from Tommy Barrett. It comes from somebody who knows these things, and I'm trusting what I'm told. But I have absolutely no doubt.
How is
reason
Tommy?
to doubt it. I don't know. So fair play. And then of course we play Treaty on opening night. Also, no, it's just come to my attention there. Opening night. No, and here's the thing: there's a 3-week media build up to it now, so somebody can surely fucking ask Tommy Barrett between now and then, was he offered the job and did he turn it down?
But he's going to say no, like.
Why is he going to say no? Well, maybe, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he would say no. I
So,
don't know.
what stage did he tell you this?
He didn't tell me. Tommy, I've never spoken. I've never met Tommy Barrett. I've never spoken to Tommy Barrett. As I said, people who know shit tell me shit. That's it. You know, it's not a big one, you know, but it's just, as I said, a bit of an exclusive. Wait, no,
the thing with Tommy
and
the thing with Tommy Barrett, because you were saying about how like he's in a job, he'd have to go full time as a manager, and then there's a fear that he'd get sacked. But also, I couldn't see him working with Usher. He's a very strong personality. I wouldn't see him as a yes man, but in saying that, I wouldn't see Barry Robson like that either. But you could see a falling out between the owner and Tommy Barrett, and him having no choice but to leave, regardless of whether we're top or bottom of the first division.
Yeah, look, I mean, it is what it is, and I don't think it's a big thing. We were obviously going to offer it to somebody, so Tommy turned it down. That's all it is. We'll keep moving to X. We'd like to hear thoughts on Cove Ramblers' current squad compared or contrasted to ours, just out of curiosity. Maybe that's something for nearer the season. Will we plan to buy and get rid of players well before we go up? I.e., if the club the balls to cut the dross when our season in hell finishes. Jesus Christ, it's 12 months away. Yeah, 9 months away. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Who's missing Pat Dolan now? Rebel Arm. Yeah, Cork is a magical place. That's obviously Killian. That account on Twitter had.
You saw the video, did you?
Pat Dolan video up, yeah, which got us all teary-eyed and nostalgic.
Yeah, I remember that.
Days gone by.
Yeah.
A magical man.
Here come League Weekly. Do you remember that, lads? On a Monday night at 11:30.
Yes, indeed.
Trevor Welchman.
A request rather than a question. Let's have 1 point of argument from each amigo in favour of looking forward to the season. The general negativity is tiring and deeply unhealthy.
Totally agree with. Who is that?
CCFC, man.
All right.
I think we can try to give our semblance of positivity.
Well, give us one thought, Declan.
One positive for the coming season.
Don't all jump in, lads.
I was waiting for. Sorry, I thought it was Deck. I was waiting for Deck.
I'll jump in. If I'm going to bring the little fella to a game, as many as he wants, it's going to be his choice. And if he doesn't go to a game, I'll sit at home on a Friday night watching a game and texting Dunnocks. So bringing a new bring the little fella to the game. A new fan would be magical, but it depends if he wants to go or not. Again, it's on to the players and the management to entice a 7-8-year-old into becoming a fan.
I'll go with, look, we've got a manager now that's brand new to the league. He's not the usual merry-go-round of, Keith Long and these guys and Vinnie Pert and, he's completely different to what we expected, and that can surely be something to get excited about. Like, it could probably go either way, to be honest. Like, if he doesn't get on with the owners and we hear some of the stuff and the micromanagement that's been going on the last few years and things like that, then it'll all go pear-shaped and he'll probably be gone by May. But, like, look, yeah, we have to hope that things have changed. We've got Simon Grayson now in, who seems to have taken that area of ownership on footballing matters, and let's be positive, CCFC men. Thank you for the question.
We generally will be more positive this year. I think we have to be, because otherwise we're going to drive ourselves insane after about 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh man, yeah, Jesus.
So just hopefully the ownership stays quiet, stuff gets done. The toilet situation's all MFA now. They can start. That's where we're going to be at this season. Let's call a spade here now. Like, it's the MFA.
Toilet watch.
The brunt of us this season, I think. That's their own fault for doing so. We might leave Dermot and the lads alone for a couple of weeks anyway.
I think, and people are going to say this is me being facetious and whatnot, but I think it's actually massive that Ger Lash is no longer manager of this football club. Because the damage that was done in his period here is untold. And the fact that the club were willing to back him, the fact, take him into another season, my massive fear was that he was going to set us back light years, We've luckily avoided that scenario.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge positive. And obviously the obvious one is, hopefully Charlie Hanover is okay. He gets minutes. Killian Murphy is making a bit of an impact in pre-season. Someone to look forward to. So there's going to be that element of youth who are going to have to get minutes and have to get game time. And that's always great to see. And it's always something to look forward to. Dominic, have you anything?
Well, obviously the toilet's been done up, and see what the MFA have in store for Turner's Cross. And quite excited.
We definitely need a toilet watch, lads.
We do.
There was one. There was one
Super Bowl watch or something. I don't know. There's just the weekend it's in it and whatnot. Just going through this.
There's a few things on the pitch. Obviously, us going unbeaten or getting 100 points doing what Dundalk couldn't do, because that has to be the standard. You set a high standard in football, and if that's not the standard, then we're fucked. So I'm looking forward to watching City go a season unbeaten and being able to laugh at Dundalk as we overtake them again next year, saying they couldn't do it. But other than that, I mean, there's so much else as part of the match day experience in Turner's Cross. Sorry, Munster FA Turner's Cross. When you go in, and the off season is a long time, so you'd be looking forward to going back, seeing all the people that you only know from there, that you kind of bump into. You've met the same people, the same routines. The social side of it, of course, is always going to be a massive thing as well.
That's all very true. I lost my spot here now. 2 seconds. What does Decky make of the signings for the women's team? That's a Last Damas question, and we'll deal with that there. But there's not a whole lot I can say, to be honest with you. With Cathal Heffernan and Dave Harrington both getting new moves in the UK, the Uma brothers excelling, is there ever a feeling of what might have been at City? Especially if you include Judas's move to Shams and no one to the UK into that as well.
We've always been a selling club. It's just a shame now we're a selling club within the league domestically.
Yeah, that's true. Any word on Cathal? The Preston thing hasn't been announced, and I never followed it up. Just dawned on me there now, but
he was in Middleton.
He's not at City any longer.
Is he in the UK right now? Does anyone know?
I don't know.
He was
another
last
one
week.
Another one that Ger Nash drove out the door of the club.
He blames Ger Nash for his injury directly.
Jeez.
So the story goes, yeah. Double sessions, and Nash was, made aware by staff that Cahill shouldn't be doing as much as he was doing. Look, there's no point. There's other stuff as well. Like, it's just
lads, don't. I need to block my ears.
Yeah, whether Cahill can tell the stories or not, but like, yeah.
That's the thing too, lads. Like, and it goes back to your point earlier, Dick, like about, you know, the club were saying Jor has a plan, and like he was all full pelt to be the manager of the club for 2026. Like,
yeah,
and is like, oh god, like, so has this whole Simon Grayson, Barry Robson thing kind of, I won't say fallen on the club's lap, but all just been a kind of a butterfly effect of Jor's situation and him going back to Sweden
100%,
and all that. Like,
100%, because he was staying. As I said, I don't think Rory Feely would have been here. Greg Bulger wouldn't have been here.
Yeah,
obviously, you know, just like, so.
Look, and I suppose, cause and effect and things like that happen or whatever. And to be fair, I think most of us were pleasantly surprised with the whole Simon Grayson thing. He's coming in now, football ownership, advisory role, blah, blah, blah. Barry Robson coming in, look, great. See how this plays out and see what he can bring to the club. Like, it feels like none of this would have happened, and we could you imagine?
It wouldn't have.
No, could you imagine
100%.
how miserable we would be now if we were going into pre-season with Jor Nash managing the club's recruitment? And
it's a huge blessing. Like, and that's as CFC man says, this is the positive we've taken from it, and it's exciting to have a manager like this to see what happens. Now, it could be a disaster, but look.
But it just shows what kind of a knife edge the club is on. Like, if like Jor Nash staying, like, could have been, I won't say the end, but like, there was, as you said, that like the optimism just wasn't there for us to go straight back up. And if that didn't happen, like, wow. And we were so close to that, to be honest. And just through not our own making, Jor leaving the club, and you know, like, it's just it's hard to comprehend at times, isn't it?
It is hard to comprehend. There's one here, and we probably have to deal with this. Regarding Decky, I love him as a boy, and I love him as a podcaster. But can you confirm who was contracted, in inverted commas, to the pod for the upcoming season? So contracted for the upcoming season, the Ark is contracted, Scotty's contracted.
Mine's a week-to-week basis, lads, just to clarify.
Yeah.
Dominic is contracted. I'm like, Las Damas won't be starting until probably the start of March. The season kicks off the 13th, 14th, whatever weekend that is. So say the start of March. Obviously, when Las Damas starts, I'll be pulling back a little bit. Dominic is here. We're hoping to add another one in April, which will, Dan is here. Dan is contracted. So there will be 6. So there'll be 4 max every week out of 6.
There'll be a lot more squad rotation.
Yeah, a lot more squad rotation.
Which I think is essential in this division. Just
we're only going to have 3 on at one time, is that right?
Yeah, that's the goal, yeah. Like,
3-4 max, depending on what.
With the pace of this division and the energy it just exudes, like, I think we'll need to be taking regular breaks, lads. It'll just be too much every Monday to be just
and I think
dealing with that acceleration.
And let's be honest here, like, what people don't realise, right? The WhatsApps are on the go fucking continually, right? We all love each other
not
and
anymore, not anymore, not as much as it used to be.
But you do get pissed, like, you do get pissed with each other, and it's inevitable. And there's arguments, and we don't fall out, but like, there's difference of opinions, obviously, the whole time and everything else. Like, and sometimes you do just need to step away for a week, 2 weeks. The off season's a godsend because you get fucking 2 months, which we didn't, but you should have. But you know what I mean. So like, sometimes everybody just needs to get away from each other as much as anything else as well. Like, you know, and Dominic's in now and he's all smiles and he's full of life and whatnot. That man will be browbeaten in 6 months' time. Like,
I can't wait till he has his first fight and leaves the group chat. That'll be brilliant.
We'll knock all those smiley shit out of him pretty quickly, like, you know. So, look, everybody will be around, but there will be more of us. So, that's the way that one's going to run. There was a second tweet for some reason. Can we put these Shawnee rumours to bed? No, we can't. Shamrock Rovers definitely have an interest in Shawnee. Definitely.
Yeah, we can't put it to bed, sadly.
Bowes did.
Yeah.
Until the fee was...
Fee?
Yeah, there was a fee. There was a purchase fee and a loan fee. And they rejected both. As in Bowes said. Allegedly.
It is
We're
alleged.
planning having a friendly a day before the next round of the Cup, or will we continue with the 20s? I presume that's in relation to we play Galway on Thursday in a pre-season friendly, and then we play Ringmacken on Friday night in the Munster Senior Cup. So on the 20s, I think we'll run the Munster Senior Cup now.
I think that's the way it's been the last 2 years too. Like unless it's like unbelievably convenient to give the senior first team a run. But yeah, under 20s.
If you get some players signed and in, you play them in those games, like
maybe, yeah. Good idea.
Yeah, exactly. If people need minutes. Why is every club in the league at this fucking minutes in the tank nonsense? Like they're all tweeting.
It's like Love Island. Like it's all like gratifying. What's the word they use in Love Island again?
No, it's charge it to the something. No,
I had to look up charge it today to figure out what it meant. I didn't know what it meant, and now we know.
My missus recorded it on Sky, and she watched it today when the twins were napping, and I was just in the sitting room pottering away like on the laptop, and I was just kind of glancing up and. What the fuck is this, lads? I mean,
look, it's reality. It's like Coronation Street of this era.
It's jumped the shark, surely. Like,
it is like it's car crash, but look, it's
I have never watched it. I never will watch it.
I
will die happy.
I used to watch it a few years ago. I used to think it was good old crack, but maybe I'm just
older. That was you in the Savoy 20 years ago, like.
No,
gravitating towards all that.
I've never watched it, but I already know I hate it.
Yeah, exactly. There's loads of questions here about revamping the squad in the summer and the end of the season and whatnot. We'll deal with all that stuff.
We already did. Dominic is in now, and we talked about April and whatever. Come on.
Yeah, we might add one more in April, but we'll deal with that when it comes. So I think that's the questions. Unless there was stuff on Instagram, I don't have access.
I can just fly through them, Dick, if you want, for our beloved Instagrammers. Mr. Stimpmeter said, why the renaming of Turner's Cross? I think we covered that in depth. Daddy Cool 01 says, as a respected media outlet, will ye be acknowledging Munster FA Turner's Cross or not?
I will personally, anyway, in all my dealings.
Forever, I think. Even if it gets changed next week.
Yeah, the Munster FA Turner's Cross Stadium. It will also be the Munster FA footpath outside the Munster FA.
Munster FA number 3 bus, the whole lot, like.
Yeah, I believe there's a notice gone on the Toe Tap Towers notice board now to this effect, like that. Anyone who does not refer to it as Munster FA Turner's Cross across all of Toe Tap Towers, including Las Damas, this podcast, you name it, like there will be hell to pay. Like
disciplinary proceedings will be taken against any employee.
Do we have any HR experts in Toe Tap Towers?
Yeah, I'm the HR guy. I look after all that shit. So yeah, look, it will be perfect. It will be done. I have decreed. And thank you for acknowledging that we are a respected media outlet as well. That means a lot.
Absolutely not. This podcast.
Did you all do your compliance courses there over Christmas, lads?
I did, yeah.
Grand.
Leadership and accountability. I've done and dusted with. Passed with flying colours.
I did the 2-week HR one, but I wasn't really interested in it, so I moved on from it.
Look, I like.
What about the legal training?
I don't know why they kept sending me on the sexual harassment one. And like obviously I'm head of HR, so I kept sending myself on it, which is kind of ironic. But
what about the theory test and the rules of the road, lads? That was circulating around Christmas time.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's not for everybody. It has to be said, it's not for everybody. And look,
can we finish the podcast, please?
It's there's lots
before
of tests.
Dominic runs away,
the HR tests. Parking for dummies. Parking for dummies is another one. Like
it was a short season, lads. Jesus, the cease and desist.
Which of these should you not park a car in the middle of?
Declan, stop.
A football pitch
right now. End the podcast right now. End the podcast right now.
Okay, we're finishing there. So
move on.
Sorry, some more questions there.
Oh, there was one there from P. Hellemickel 89 at Lone winning the lot this season? Question. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe the women's, if they're talking about the women's, but they're looking for Last Dam. It's not for this podcast.
Here's a question: why do the women's Athlone Town team have a different to the men's jersey? I can phrase that correctly. Why is the women's and men's jerseys different between in Athlone Town? I still can't say it right. Okay, let's try a third time. Why? You know what I'm trying to say.
Why do the Athlone Town men's and women's team wear different jerseys?
Yes,
that's what I'm trying to say.
I'm delirious.
Your elocution training hasn't been completed, Wayne. I'm checking in the system here.
Do you know what it was? Is towards the end of the season they ended up in the same jersey, but from what I can remember, and there was something about this, it just took so long for the women's jerseys to come in that they had to use the previous jersey. I think it was as simple as that. And then towards the end of the season...
No, because the women's team were all black, don't they?
No. Yeah, that was it. And they had to wear the all black kit. Okay. But then they did get the blue and black stripes for the last 3 or 4 league games. And then the cup final and things like that as well, you know. So, although I think actually Bows wore their red, wasn't it? I can't remember what way they won it. But anyway, that was what it was. It basically, there was some mess up with ordering or stuff coming in or whatnot. And basically they had to go to full season. But this year they'll both be in the same jerseys again, as I understand.
Thanks, sir.
All right.
I know by the start at 20 minutes ago, lads, so just...
Okay.
It's on Sky Go.
Okay. It's giving the ick, Wayne.
Is there anything else? Is that it? Are we done for the return episode?
When we back again?
We'll be back next week.
Monday.
Oh, next week? Are we back?
Same toe tap channel.
Yeah, we're back every week now. Yeah.
Same toe tap time.
Okay.
Do you know?
Unless we get the letters that were
defeated. No, after one episode, he looks defeated.
I'm positive, lads. I'm very positive.
There's definitely letters due from a possibly variety of parties after this episode goes out.
I think there is.
Fuck. Do you know what? We said we wanted to have more fun this year.
That's true.
Fun can
no
be
one
true.
listens anyway, lads. No one listens.
Fun can be true. Yeah, nobody listens.
They don't. No. And don't forget MunsterFA.ie for all your toe tap merch.
I just looking there. Actually, Dominic's wearing a piece of toe tap merchandise, aren't you?
Did you get that on MunsterFA.ie?
MunsterFA.ie for all your unofficial Cork City gear needs.
He's going to fit in well, lads. He's going to fit in well.
Has.
If you want to look like me, go to shop.toetap.ie or MunsterFA.ie.
Until next week, folks. Adios.
Adios.
Zero.
Adios.
Amigos.
Hey there, toe tapper. This podcast is sponsored by NordVPN, and we have a deal of a lifetime. So listen up. Are you still surfing the web with all your personal info hanging out? That's like going to Fountainstown with your Mickey dangling for all to see. But fear not, my digitally exposed friend. NordVPN is here to hide your pecker. With NordVPN, you can cloak your online presence faster than the club counts gate receipts. Say goodbye to those pesky ad trackers and hello to streaming shows from all over the globe. Want to watch a dodgy stream without it buffering? NordVPN might just make it happen. And hackers trying to steal your data? They'll have better luck finding Kimberly Mikado in the tea room. NordVPN's got more layers of security than the VIP section on match day. So what are you waiting for? Get NordVPN today and surf the web with style, security, and a sprinkle of quirkiness. Go to nordvpn.com/toe tap for our exclusive deal. It's practically free. You miserable.